Worried that your AI generated content sounds too robotic? In this video, I'm going to show you how to not sound like AI. First, I'm going to reveal the key signs that your content sounds way too much like AI. By the way, this is one of the biggest mistakes people make when using AI to write. Then you're going to learn practical tips to make your AI generated content sound more authentic and more relatable. Next, I'll share how to incorporate a conversational tone to make your content feel more human. Finally, I'll show you how to treat AI like it's a team member so that you're getting more of what you want a lot faster without feeling like you have to give the exact right prompt every single time. Let's identify the key signs that something is written by AI. First, it's going to use a lot of common key terms like dive, delve, unleash, cherry on top, unlock, maximize, revolutionize, those kind of words. The kind of words that you see everywhere. Now, this is something you'll see even when it's not written by AI, but it's written by a copywriter who doesn't know how to go a little bit deeper. So we want to make sure we're going beyond just like overwhelmed, unlocked, those kind of things. Depending on the industry you're in, it will change the kind of common words you're seeing from ChatGPT. For example, if I'm a therapist, I'm not going to see treasure trove as much as I am if I'm a marketer. So start paying attention to the common words you're seeing from other people in your industry. Look for patterns of the common words, and that's going to give you an idea of what words you want to avoid. You also want to avoid really general words, really general terms that don't mean anything. For example, if ChatGPT is saying overwhelmed, overwhelmed to me might look different than overwhelmed to you. But either way, overwhelmed kind of falls flat because I've heard it a million times. I've seen it on a million sales pages. I've read it in a million emails. So if I want my copy to stand out, I want to go deeper than that. I don't want to just have that surface level stuff that ChatGPT is spitting out or subpar copywriters are putting out. So when ChatGPT gives you something like overwhelmed or treasure trove, we want to get specific in our feedback of what we didn't like. So you could say to ChatGPT, you said treasure trove, but that's not a word or phrase I want to use. It's overused and I just don't really like it. Can you come up with 10 more things that you could say instead? And it's going to give you some suggestions on what it can say instead. Or let's say it's telling you that generic phrase, overwhelmed, burnt out, exhausted. We can say something to ChatGPT like this. ChatGPT, I want you to tell me something more specific. Instead of just overwhelmed, I want you to really paint the picture of how my audience is feeling. I want you to go deeper, deep into their human psyche and identify what it looks like for them to be overwhelmed. I want them to read the sentence and say, oh my gosh, she's talking directly to me. Oh my gosh, this offer is for me because she's describing my life right now. I can't tell you the kind of impact that this in-depth copy will have on your audience. Anytime I demo this and I talk to my specific audience, typically entrepreneurs, who are moms, who are wanting to use AI to save time. And I give some examples of taking it from overwhelmed to how that mom might feel in her business and with her life. I always get things like this. You're describing my life exactly. This is exactly how I feel. And when we can get someone saying, this is exactly how I feel, that's when you can have the impact because they understand how you can help them move from where they are to where they want to be with whatever it is that you're providing, even if you're providing something free. Our words have the power to have a huge impact on someone, but only if they feel like we're talking directly to them. We got responses to emails a lot, and that was not surprising, but what was surprising is what was in the email. The person who responded told us that the email that we sent out that previous day impacted them on a level that I could have never imagined. They were going through this crisis, and they're about to make a life-altering decision. And because of the email that we sent that day that spoke directly to them, they didn't make that decision. The things that we do in our business, how we show up in our business, and the messaging that we use, the way that we communicate with people, it makes us money. Yeah, and that's amazing. That's great. And it has the potential to literally change people's lives for the better. That's why getting good at using ChatGPT to write is vital because you don't know who you're going to have an impact on. Because of that, every email I send, yes, I use ChatGPT to help me. And I also use these techniques that I told you so that I'm reaching the person at that soul level, not just at what they're thinking, not just at the surface level, but at that soul in-depth level that's going to have an impact. Because like you, I'm here to have an impact, not just to make a lot of money. So we've talked about how to make it sound like a human, common phrases to avoid, and ways to add in more of that human level in-depthness and not just the surface level stuff. But did you know that you can use AI as a team member too? And that when you're talking to it as a team member, we don't really want it to sound like AI then either. So here's how you can use it as a team member and it actually feel like you're talking to a team member. The first thing you're gonna do is be really conversational with ChatGPT. So anytime I go in there, I'm usually talking to it like like I would talk to a team member, but maybe a little bit more direct. With my team members, I use a lot more pleases and thank yous. I'm gonna open up a chat and I'm gonna tell ChatGPT whatever it is that I want. I might say something like, hey, I'm working on this thing and I'm a little stuck right here. Can you help me kind of figure out how to get around it? Or can you brainstorm with me? But I'm basically telling it, here's what I'm doing, here's what I need help with, here's the outcome I want. And once I've done that, I can press enter and we can go back and forth. So it'll give me an output, it'll tell me the information, and then I can go back to it and say, okay, I like what you said here, but I'm still getting stuck on this part. Can you help me kind of break this down a little bit? Or I'm not understanding this part, can you help me break it down a little bit? And it'll do that. And then we can go back and forth for a few minutes until I feel like, okay, I'm not stuck anymore, I can move forward. Now you can use this in your business, you can also use this in your personal life too. When my little one was in the terrible twos phase, there was a moment where I was having a really rough day and so was she. I felt like I had tried everything to stop the tantrums and they just kept coming. And I had reached my zone of tolerance. I didn't know what to do next. I felt like I had tried everything. When she went to bed, I went to ChatGPT. Now normally I would go to my mindset coach. I have an amazing mindset coach, but it was the middle of the night and I didn't want to be messaging her at like, 11 p.m., 1 a.m. saying like, oh, I can't figure this parenthood thing out. And so I went to ChatGPT and I said to ChatGPT, here's what's going on, here's what I've tried, and here's how I'm feeling. And at the time I was feeling really discouraged. I was feeling like a terrible parent, worst parent on the planet. I just couldn't figure it out. I felt like every other parent that I knew just like had it down. They were like expert level parent and here I was like a little noob and I needed some help. I told ChatGPT all of that and I also told it I was looking for some encouragement, that I was feeling really discouraged. And I don't know what exactly happened, but I walked away from that conversation with ChatGPT with tears in my eyes, feeling understood and seen and heard. It gave me some suggestions on what I could try, and then from those suggestions, I said, you know what, I tried this and this and this already, what else can I do? And it said something to the effect of, it sounds like you're working really hard. It sounds like you're doing your best. It sounds like you're trying all the things that you would suggest. This is totally normal. Everybody experiences this. And I was over here on my couch like, my dogs are looking at me wondering what's going on. But it was exactly what I needed to hear in that moment and gave me some ideas on other things that I could try. ChatGPT and other AI tools can be a teammate in a lot of ways. The biggest limitation is your imagination. And I'd like to help. I have a free gift for you. Now that you know that you can use AI to not sound like AI, you can use it for your writing, I'm gonna show you everything else that you can use it for. I have a free guide that I've spent the last 18 months developing, tweaking, analyzing, using, so that I know that it works without all the mistakes that I made, all the trial and error that I made. You get to download it for free as my guide of 120 ways you can use AI in your business and life. Click the link that comes with this video to download it for free. I'm Brittany Long, and I'll talk to you soon.